Okay, HSM 801 PDF combined. So we're on page 79 right now. Goals of the health system. Expected learning outcomes. At the end of this lecture, the learner will be able to 1. Know the goals of the health system. 2. Learn how to measure individual goal of the health system. 3. Learn to calculate the composite goal of the health system. Goals of the health system. Improving health and health equity in ways that are responsive, financially fair, and make the best or most efficient use of available resources. WHO 2000. Goals of the health system. Improving health status. 1. 2. Enhancing responsiveness to legitimate expectations of the population. 3. Assuring fairness of financial contribution. That's improve efficiency. These are meant to reduce health inequalities or improve the distribution of health. Goals redefined. The goal of good health itself is twofold. 1. The best attainable average level goodness, and 2. The best attainable average level, that is goodness, and 2. The smallest feasible fairness, the smallest feasible differences among individuals and groups, that is fairness. Goodness means a health system responding well to what people expect of it. Fairness means it responds equally well to everyone without discrimination. Health system goals in relation to components of assessment. So goals, components of assessment. Under component of assessment, you have average level, you have distribution. So goals, health improvement. Component of assessment, average level, tick good. Distribution, tick good. Goals, second goal, responsiveness to expectations. Under component of assessment, average level, tick good. Distribution, tick good. Goals, third one, fairness in financial contributions. Component of assessment, average level, tick bad. Distribution, tick good. Goals redesigned. Taking cognizance of the goodness level, level and fairness distribution. Goals of the health system will be 1. The overall level of health. 2. The distribution of health in the population. 3. The overall level of responsiveness. 4. The distribution of responsiveness. 5. The distribution of financial contribution. Goal, improving health. Recall, health is a state characterized by anatomical, physiological, and psychological integrity, ability to perform personally valued family, work, and community roles, ability to deal with physical, biological, psychological, and social stress, a feeling of well-being, and freedom from the risk of disease and untimely death. Stokes et al. So still, health is a state of equilibrium between humans and the physical, biological, and social environment compatible with full functional activities. This definition is by Last. Health can be viewed from the perspective of functional well-being, positive health, absence of illness and diseases, social health, subjective well-being, or the quality of life. Pyramid bracket, iceberg of disease, potential health and healthcare need. So at the bottom of the pyramid, you are free of risk factors. Protection of current status. Then the next one is risk factors for disease. That is screening or health education. The next one on top is undiagnosed or wrongly diagnosed disease. That is opportunistic or population screening. The next one on top is diagnosed uncontrolled. That is review. Next one on top, that is the topmost, is now diseased, diagnosed, and controlled. That is nil except vigilance. Determinants of health. Genotype. So you have 3 pies. A, B, C. Genotype. A, behavior of patients. B, social and physical environment. C, medical practice. C is equal to care. That is structure. A, C is equal to care. Process. A, B, C is equal to outcome. Health is multidimensional. Health and its assessments are multidimensional. It is influenced by economic, occupational, cultural, educational, social factors. Health indicators include those measuring mortality, 2, morbidity, 3, disability, 4, nutritional status, 5, healthcare delivery, 6, utilization rate, 7, social and mental health, 8, environmental, 9, socioeconomic, 10, health policy, 11, quality of life, etc. Spectrum of health. Health and disease lie along a continuum with almost no existing line of delineation. The lowest point of the health disease spectrum is death, and the highest point corresponds to the WHO definition of positive health. The spectral concept of health emphasizes that the health of an individual is not static. It is a dynamic phenomenon and a process of continuous change, subject to frequent subtle variations. Death, arrow leads to severe sickness, arrow leads to mild sickness, arrow leads to unrecognized sickness, arrow leads to freedom from sickness, arrow leads to better health, arrow leads to positive health. Travis illness wellness continuum. So this is composed of two arrows pointing in opposite directions and joined at a neutral point. So illness wellness continuum. You have wellness paradigm, treatment paradigm, premature death, disability, symptoms, signs. Then on the other side, they have high level wellness, awareness, education, and what is this? Can't see it. Neutral point, no discernible illness or wellness. Okay, definitions. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely an absence of disease or infirmity. Health is relative. Illness, wellness continuum. So you have on one end, on the left, you have premature death. That is bad. On the other end, on the right, you have high level wellness. So in between, you have. So this premature death, the middle, you have comfort zone, bracket, false wellness. That's 4, 5, 6 thereabouts. You have on the left, you have disease developing. On the right, you have wellness developing. So 0, 1, 2, 3 is for disease developing. Then comfort zone, false wellness, 4, 5, 6. Then wellness developing, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's so still from left to right, you have disease, multiple medications, poor quality of life, potential becomes limited, body has limited function, that's disease. Poor health, you have 1, symptoms, 2, drug therapy, 3, surgery, 4, losing normal function. For the neutral, that's a comfort zone, you have neutral, 1, no symptoms, 2, nutrition inconsistent, 3, exercise sporadic, 4, health not a high priority. Then for good health, you have 1, regular exercise, 2, good nutrition, 3, wellness education, 4, minimal nerve interference. For optimal health, you have 1, 100% function, 2, continuous development, 3, active participation, 4, wellness lifestyle. Quality of life and health-related quality of life. Quality of life can be defined in macro bracket societal objective, objective, that's macro, or micro bracket individual, subjective terms. For objective, you have 1, income, 2, employment, 3, housing, 4, education, 5, living, and 6, environmental circumstances. For subjective, you have 1, perception of overall quality of life, 2, individuals' experiences, and 3, values. Quality of life is the degree to which persons perceive themselves able to function physically, emotionally, mentally, and socially. In more quantitative sense, it is the estimation of remaining life free of impairments, disability, or handicap. Health-related quality of life is a dimension of the broader quality of life, goodness of aspects of life affected by health. Perspective to the definition of quality of life. Then you have perspective, then you have illustration. For perspective, 1, the psychological view. Illustration, the patient's perception of the impact of disease. For example, how symptoms are experienced and labeled. 2, the utility view. Illustration, the values attached to health states, the trade-offs individuals make between survival and against quality of life. 3, the community-centered view. Illustration, the extent to which illnesses impacts on the individual's relations to a community in terms of employment, homemaking, etc. Perspective number 4, reintegration into normal life. Illustration, the extent to which following illness the individual can resume normal life in terms of self-care, social activities, etc. Perspective number 5, the gap between expectation and achievement. Illustration, the more the patient is able to realize his or her expectations, the higher the quality of life. Impairments, disability, and handicap. According to the International Classification of Impairments, Disabilities, and Handicaps, ICIDH, 1, an impairment is defined in ICIDH as any loss or abnormality of psychological, physiological, or anatomical structure or function. It is concerned with abnormalities of body structure and appearance and with organ or system function resulting from any cause. In principle, impairments represent disturbances at the organ level. An impairment may be visible or invisible, temporary or permanent, progressive or regressive. Also, one impairment may lead to the development of secondary impairments. Disability. Disability is defined in ICIDH as any temporary or long-term restriction or lack resulting from an impairment of ability to perform an activity in a manner or within the range considered normal for a human being at a particular age and sex. The term disability reflects the consequences of impairments in terms of functional performance and activity by the individual. Disability thus represents disturbances at the level of the person. Handicap. A handicap is defined in ICIDH as a disadvantage for a given individual resulting from an impairment or a disability that limits or prevents the fulfillment of a role that is normal, depending on age, sex, social and cultural practice for that individual. The term handicap thus reflects interaction with and adaptation to the individual's surroundings. Example. Taking diabetes as an example, the above terms can be explained further as follows. Diabetes is a disease or disorder. Foot ulcer is the impairment. This is extrinsic or intrinsic. Cannot walk is disability, objectified. Unemployed is a handicap, socialized. The intervention in disability will often be social, environmental, as well as medical. While impairment, which is the earliest stage, has a large medical component, disability and handicap, which are later stages, have large social and environmental components in terms of dependence and cost. So you have disease or disorder, you have impairment, you have disability, you have handicap. So disease or disorder, you have blindness. Impairment is vision. Disability is seeing. Handicap, orientation. Disease or disorder number 2, rheumatism. Impairment, skeletal. Disability, walking. Handicap, mobility. Disease number 3, or disorder number 3. 1 is issues. This is the heading. These issues and loss or deficiencies. Activity, issues, loss. Impairments is loss or deficiency. So disease or disorder, you have issues. Those are diseases. Impairments, you have loss/deficiencies. Disability is activity limitation. Handicap is participation restriction. Related terms: disorder, disease, syndrome. A disorder is a disturbance or departure, for example, of an organ or body system from normal, healthy function. It's basically an impairment. A disease, literally disease, the opposite of ease. When something is wrong with a bodily function, is a disorder that can be assigned to a diagnostic category. It usually has a distinct clinical course and often a distinct etiology. A syndrome is a group of symptoms and signs that tend to appear together and collectively characterize a disorder. Disease, illness, and sickness. Disease is a biological dimension of non-health and essentially physiological dysfunction. Illness is a subjective or psychological state of the person who feels aware of not being well. The experience of a person with a disease, a social construct fashioned out of transactions between healers and patients in the context of their common culture. Sickness is a state of social dysfunction of a person with a disease, the role that an individual assumes when ill, a result of being defined by others as unhealthy. In the real world, lay concepts of illness and medical concepts of disease interact and shape each other. Neither is indefinitely malleable, as both are constrained by biology and culture. Health assessment. Health is measured in terms of the state of illness, or lack of health, consequences of ill health, morbidity, mortality, and economic, occupation, and domestic factors that promote ill health. Health assessment is the evaluation of the health status of an individual along the health continuum. Health assessment is done to establish where an individual is on the health continuum. The health continuum approach range from preventive to treatment to palliative care in relation to patients to individual status on the health continuum. Theory of measurement. 1. Measurement. 2. Indicators. 3. Measurement scale. Nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. 4. Measurement problems. Under that you have 1. Validity. Under that you have phase, validity, 2. Content validity, criterion, bracket concurrent, predictive, predictive. 4. You have construct validity, bracket convergent, discriminant, convergent, discriminant. So still under measurement problems. Number 2, you have reliability. Under that you have precision, reproducibility, agreement, bracket multiple form, alternate form, test, retest, inter-rater, inter-rater, then bracket close. Still under that you have under reliability, you have internal consistency, bracket split half, Chromebacks alpha, close, bracket close. So still under measurement problems, we've said the first one is validity, number 2 is reliability, number 3 is sensitivity, number 4 is specificity, number 5 is responsiveness, number 6 dimensionality, and factor structure. Measuring instruments, you have types. Under types you have 1 objective, then 2 subjective, bracket single item, battery, scale. Under subjective you have 1 non-self report, under number 2 self-report. So still measuring instruments, we talked of types. Then item response. Under item response you have VAS, VAS. 2 Likert. 3 Thurstone, THURSTONE. 4 Gottman, GUTTMAN. Examples of measuring instruments. 1. The Stanford Arthritis Center Health Assessment Questionnaire, Fries et al. 1982. The Arthritis Impact Measurement Scale, AIMS, Minan et al. 1980. Number 3. The Index of Activities of Daily Living, ADL, Cards et al. 1973. Number 4. The London Handicap Scale, Harwood and Ibrahim, 1995. Number 5. The Sickness Impact Profile, SIP, Dayo et al. 1983. Number 6. The Short Form 36 Health Survey, Rand Corporation. Number 7. Satisfaction with Life Scale, SWLS, Diana et al. 1985. 8. Quality of Life Questionnaire, QLQ. We have Evans and Cope, 1994. Measures and health. Health is the defining objective for the health system. Burden of disease, BOD, is the burden that a particular disease process has in a particular area in terms of cost, morbidity, and mortality. Health systems try to improve the level and distribution of health that is under that you have. They make the health status of the entire population as good as possible over people's whole life cycle, taking account of both premature mortality and disability. Measuring burden of disease, you have quantitative, you have quality. Under quantity, you have life expectancy, LE. Under quality, you have quality, QALY, quality. Under quantity, number 2, you have years of potential life lost, YPLL. Under quality, you have DALY, DALY, that is disability. Assessing disability. The Manual for WHO Disability Assessment Schedule, WHO DAS 2.0, is a standardized measure for measuring health and disability across culture. It comprises 6 dimensions. Cognition. 1. Cognition. It comprises 6 dimensions. 1. Cognition. 2. Getting around. 3. Self-care. 4. Getting along. 4. Life activities, bracket household. 6. Life activities, bracket work. And 7. Okay. Participation. Cognition, getting around, self-care, getting along, life activities. Okay, life activities, the 5th one, but under that you have life activities, household, and then life activities, work. And then 6, participation, commonly grouped into 2. 1, event type indicator, and 2, person type indicators. Event type indicators. 1, number of days of restricted activities. 2, bed disability days. 3, work loss days or school loss days within a specified period. Person type indicators. Limitation. 1, limitation of mobility, confinement to a bed, house, or special aid in getting around either inside or outside the house. 2, measurement through direct questions self-reported activity limitation, self-reported participation restriction, clinical screening for impairments in body function and structure. 3. Limitation of activity. Under that you have 1. Limitation to perform the basic activities of daily living, ADL. That is eating, washing, dressing, going to toilet, moving about, etc. 2. Limitation in major life activities, MLA. Ability to work at a job or be involved in housework. Disability rates, DALYs, disability adjusted life years. Disability rates, DALYs, disability adjusted life years. 1. Is a comprehensive indicator including both losses of healthy years due to disability and premature death. DALYs is an indicator that measures the disease burden in a population, taking into account not only premature mortality but also disability caused by disease or injury. DALY is equal to mortality bracket years of life lost due to premature death plus morbidity bracket effects of all non-fatal diseases, e.g. illness, episode, or chronic disability. 2 things needed to measure DALYs are 1. Life tables of that country to measure the losses from premature deaths. 2. Loss of healthy life years resulting from disability. The disability may be permanent bracket polio or temporary bracket TB, leprosy. It can be physical, mental. Disability rates. This index bracket expectation of life free of disability is computed by subtracting from the life expectancy the probable duration of bed disability and inability to perform major activities according to cross-sectional data from the population surveys. Sullivan's index refers to expectation of life free of disability. Sullivan's index is equal to life expectancy of the country to probable duration of bed minus probable duration of bed disability and inability to perform major activities. It is considered as one of the most advanced indicators currently available. HALE, Health Adjusted Life Expectancy. So disability rates, you have Sullivan's index, then you have HALE, Health Adjusted Life Expectancy. It is based on the framework of WHO. It is based on life expectancy at birth but includes an adjustment for time spent in poor health. It is the equivalent number of years in full health that a newborn can expect to live based on current rates of ill health and mortality. Disability adjusted life years. 1 DALY is 1 year lost of 1 year. 1 DALY is 1 lost year of healthy life. It is a measure of the burden of disease on a defined population and the effectiveness of the interventions. Thus, it is a measure of population health. 1 DALY is 1 lost year of healthy life. DALYs expresses years of life lost to premature death and years lived with disability adjusted for the severity of the disability. This is based on adjustment of life expectancy to allow for long-term disability as estimated from official statistics. A premature death is defined as one that occurs before the age to which a dying person could have expected to survive if he or she was a member of a standardized model population with a life expectancy at birth equal to that of the world's longest surviving population, Japan. This concept postulates a continuum from disease to disability to death and are calculated using a disability weight, a proportion less than 1, multiplied by chronological age to reflect the burden of this disability. Nigeria with life expectancy of 54.49 years, female 57.49 and male 50.85 ranks 216 in the world and 16th in Africa 2019. Estimating DALYs. DALYs for a disease or health condition are calculated as the sum of the years of life lost YLL due to premature mortality in the population and the years lost due to disability YLD for people living with the health condition or its consequences. Calculation DALY is equal to YLL plus YLD. The YLL basically corresponds to the number of deaths multiplied by the standard life expectancy at the age at which death occurs. The basic formula for YLL bracket without yet including other social preferences for a given cause, age, and sex is equal to YLL is equal to N times L, where N is equal to number of deaths and L is equal to standard life expectancy at age of death in years. To estimate YLD for a particular cause in a particular time period, The number of incident cases in that period is multiplied by the average duration of the disease and a weight factor that reflects the severity of the disease on a scale from 0 perfect health to 1 dead. The basic formula for YLD is the following, bracket again without applying social preferences. YLD is equal to 1 times DW times L. YLD is equal to I times DW times L, where I, bracket number of incident cases, DW is disability weight, L is equal to average duration of the case until remission or death in years. Uses of DALYs: 1. To assist in selecting health service priorities. 2. To identify the disadvantaged groups. 3. To targeting health interventions. 4. Measuring the results of health interventions. 5. Providing comparable measures for planning and evaluating programs. 6. To compare the health status of different countries. 7. To sum the sum of these DALYs across the population or the burden of disease equal to gap between current health status and an ideal health situation where the entire population lives to an advanced age free of disease and disability. QALYs are a measure of years lived in perfect health gained, where DALYs are a measure of years in perfect health lost. Meaning, you have QALY, difference between QALYs and DALYs. Meaning, QALYs adjust number 1, meaning QALYs adjusted life years. Quality adjusted life years for QALYs. DALY, disability adjusted life years. Number 2, main use. QALYs, cost effectiveness and analysis of clinical interventions. DALYs, estimating disease burden. Number 3, age weighting. QALYs does not involve age weighting. DALYs incorporates age weighting. Weighting is WIGHTING. Assigns different weights to life years lived at different ages. Calculation. Number 4. QALYs allows for health status changes over time. DALYs at age adjusted. Number 5. Meaning of gain. QALYs gained is considered positive outcome. DALYs lost is considered positive outcome. Number 6. Finally, goal. QALYs to maximize the good of quality of life. DALYs to minimize the bad of gaps in health. So you have this DALYs, QALYs. So big square DALYs, QALYs. Disability, utility, health state. Disability 0, utility 1.0, disability weighting 0, utility 1.0, health state perfect. Disability weighting 0.67, utility 0.33, health state deafness. Disability weighting 1.0, utility 0, health state death. Quality adjusted life years. Quality of life is the degree to which persons perceive themselves able to function physically, emotionally, mentally, and socially. In more quantitative sense, it is the estimation of remaining life free of impairment, disability, or handicap. The QALY places mortality and morbidity on the same measurement scale. It is commonly used to measure the cost effectiveness of health interventions. It estimates the number of years of life added by a successful treatment or adjustment for quality of life. QALY continued. This is an adjustment to life expectancy that reduces the overall life expectancy by amounts that reflect the existence of chronic conditions causing impairment, disability, and or handicap as assessed from health survey data, hospital discharge data. In practice, numerical weights representing severity of residual disability are established by the judgment of patients and health professionals. Procedures for calculating QALYs, like those for calculating DALYs, begins with chronological age and multiply this by a utility weight for the health state. Estimating QALYs. In calculating QALY, each year of imperfect health is assigned the value of 1.0 down to a value of 0.0 for being dead. If the extra years would not be lived in full health, for example, if the patient will lose a limb or be blind or have to use a wheelchair, then the extra life years are given a value between 0 and 1 to account for this. The QALY is a measure of the value of health outcomes. Since health is a function of length of life and quality of life, the QALY was developed as an attempt to combine the value of these attributes into a single index number. The basic idea underlying the QALY is simple. It assumes that a year of life lived in perfect health is worth 1 QALY, 1 year of life times 1 utility value is equal to 1 QALY, and that a year of life lived in a state of less than this perfect health is worth less than 1. In order to determine the exact QALY value, it is sufficient to multiply the utility value associated with a given state of health by the years lived in that state. QALYs are therefore expressed in terms of years lived in perfect health. Half a year lived in perfect health is equivalent to 0.5 QALYs, because 0.5 years times 1 utility, the same as 1 year of life lived in a situation with utility 5 of 0.5, e.g. bedridden, bracket 1 year times 0.5 utility. Techniques used include 1. Standard Gamble, 2. Visual analog scale, and 3. Time trade. Weighting, WIGHCING. The weight values between 0 and 1 are usually determined by methods such as 1. Time trade-off, TTO. Time trade-off. Respondents are asked to choose between remaining in a state of illness for a period of time or being restored to perfect health but having a shorter life expectancy. Number 2. Standard Gamble, SG. Respondents are asked to choose between remaining in a state of illness for a period of time or choosing a medical intervention which has a chance of either restoring them to perfect health or killing them. 3. Visual analog scale, VAS. Respondents are asked to rate a state of ill health on a scale from 0 to 100, with 0 representing being dead and 100 representing perfect health. This method has the advantage of being the easiest to ask, but is the most subjective. They entirely differ from QALY because it incorporates an age weighting function which assigns different weights to life years lived at different ages. Example: an intervention which increases a patient's life expectancy by 4 extra years rather than the patient dying within 1 year, but where the quality of life falls from 1.1 to 0.6 on the continuum, generates the following values. 1. 4 extra years of life at 0.6 values. 4 extra years of life at 0.6 quality of life value is equal to 2.4. 2. Minus 1 year at reduced quality, bracket 1 minus 0.6 is equal to 0.4. 3. QALY generated by the intervention is equal to 2.0. That's 2.4 minus 0.4. Human Development Index, HDI. A composite index combining indicators representing 3 dimensions of human development. 1. Longevity, bracket life expectancy at birth. 2. Knowledge, bracket adult literacy rate and mean years of schooling. And 3. Income, bracket real GDP per capita in purchasing power parity dollars. Devised by Pakistani economist Mahbub ul Haq in 1990, the concept of HDI reflects achievements in the most basic human capabilities leading to long life, being knowledgeable, and enjoying a decent standard of living. It reflects the ability to achieve a decent standard of living. The HDI values ranges between 0 to 1. Calculating HDI. To construct the index, fixed minimum and maximum values have been established for each of these indicators. Life expectancy at birth is equal to 25 years and 85 years. Adult literacy rates 0% and 100%. Real GDP per capita, PPP dollars, $100 and $40,000 PPP dollars. For any component of the HDI, individual indices can be computed according to the general formula. Index is equal to actual value minus minimum value over maximum value minus minimum value. The HDI represents the uniformly weighted sum with a third contribution by each of the following factor indices. Life expectancy index is equal to LE minus 25 over 8, that is 85 minus 25. 2. Education index is equal to 2/3 times ALI, that is 2/3 of adult literacy index. 2/3 education index is equal to 2/3 times ALI plus 1/3 times GEI. Adult literacy index ALI is equal to ALR minus 0 all over 100 minus 0. Gross enrollment index GEI is equal to CGER minus 0 all over 100 minus 0. GDP is equal to log GDPPC minus log 100 all over log 40,000 minus log 100. Calculate the HDI of Nigeria given the following parameters. Life expectancy W is equal to women is equal to 55.4 years, male is equal to 53.7 years, average is equal to 54.5 years, 2019. Adult literacy rate is equal to 62.02%, 2018. School enrollment rate is equal to 63.8%, 2010. GDP per capita is equal to 2,300 96.30. New method since 2010. Still a composite index of life expectancy, education, and income indices. Life expectancy index LEI is equal to LE minus 20 minus bracket LE minus 20 bracket close over bracket 85 minus 20. LEI is equal to 1. LEI is equal to 1 when LE at birth, that is life expectancy at birth, is 85, and 0 when life expectancy at birth is 20. Education index EI is equal to MYSI plus EYSI all over 2 over 2. Mean years of schooling index MYSI is equal to MYS over 15. 15 is a projected maximum of this indicator for 2015. Expected years of schooling index EYSI is equal to EYS over 18. 18 is the equivalent to achieving a master's degree in most countries. HDI is equal to cube root of LEI dot EI. Income II is equal to 1 where GNI per capita is 75,000 and 0 when GNI per capita is 100. Income index I is equal to inverse of G. Income index II is equal to inverse of GNI PC minus inverse 100 over IN 75,000 minus IN 100. The HDI is the geometric mean of the three normalized indices. 1. It is less than 0.550 for low human development. 0.2 0.550 to 0.699 for medium human development. 0.700 to 0.799 for high human development, and 0.800 or greater for very high human development. Nigeria's HDI value for 2017 is 0.532. This put the country in the low human development category. Nigeria's positioning is 157 out of 189 countries and territories. Between 2005 to 2017, Nigeria's HDI value increased from 0.465 to 0.532. HDI trend in Nigeria based on time series data. Year, life expectancy at birth, expected years of schooling, mean years of schooling, GNI per capita, HDI value. 2005, 2010, 2015, 2016, 2017. So life expectancy has increased from 48.2 to 53.9. Expected years of schooling from 9.0 to 10.0. Mean years of schooling from 5.2 to 6.2. GNI per capita for 3,695,231. HDI value 0.465 to 0.532. HDI masks inequality in the distribution of human development across the population at country level. HDI of Nigeria and selected countries: UNDSA 2001, 2011, Barrow and Lee 2011, UNESCO 2012, World Bank 2012, IMF 2012, country 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, 2012, 2015. Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, UK. Category very high, medium, low. Okay, so improving health. Health is defined. Health is the defining objective for the health system. Health systems try to make the health status of the entire population as good as possible over the whole life cycle, taking account of both premature mortality and disability. Disability adjusted life expectancy, DALE, commonly used, directly comparable to life expectancy estimated from mortality, and is readily compared across populations. Health life expectancy, HALE, previously DALE, DALE, constructed on life expectancy, includes non-fatal health outcomes, equals life expectancy in equivalent full health, calculated using data on epidemiology of major conditions and population health surveys. Further reading: and McDowell Measuring Health, A Guide to Rating Scales and Questionnaire, 2006, 3rd edition, Oxford University Press. 2. Anne Bowley, Measuring Health, A Review of Quality of Life Measurement Scales, 2005, 3rd edition, Open University Press. Goal 2. Enhance responsiveness. Enhancing responsiveness. Health systems responsiveness relates to the actual experience of people's interaction with their health system which confirms or disconfirms their initial expectations. The experience of interaction is shaped by both the people and the expectations on one side, and the health system's response on the other hand. Responsive health systems anticipate and adapt to existing and future health needs, thus contributing to better health outcomes. Provider-patient relationship, 4 models. 1. Paternalistic, parental, priestly. Paternalistic provider articulates and implements what is best for the patient with limited patient participation. 2. Informative, scientific, engineering, consumer, provider provides patients with relevant information including risk, benefits, alternatives, and informed patients select their preferred medical intervention. 3. Interpretative provider determines patients' values and preferences and uses that knowledge to make choice of intervention that realizes intended values. 4. Deliberative provider helps patients determine and make the best health-related decision within the context of the problem and available solutions. Criteria that you have: informative, interpretative, deliberative, paternalistic. 1. Patient values. For informative, you have defined, fixed, and known to the patient. Interpretative, inchoate and conflicting, require elucidation. Deliberative, open to development and revision through moral discussion. Paternalistic, objective and shared by physician and patient. 2. Physician's obligation. Informative, provide relevant factual information and implement patient's preferred intervention. Interpretative, elucidate and interpret relevant patient values, inform patients and implement patient's preferred intervention. Deliberative, articulate and persuade patients on the most admirable values, inform patient and implement patient's preferred intervention. Paternalistic, promoting the patient's well-being independent of the patient's current preferences. Criteria 3. Conception of physician's autonomy. Informative, choice of and control over medical care. Interpretative, self-understanding relevant to medical care. Deliberative, moral self-development relevant to medical care. Paternalistic, asserting to objective values. 4. Conception of physician's role. Informative, competent technical expert. Interpretative, counselor or advisor. Deliberative, friend or teacher. Paternalistic, guardian. Preferred model. Different models may be appropriate under different clinical circumstances. Emergency, to avoid irreversible injury. Paternalistic. Patients with clear but conflicting values. Interpretative. One-off provider-patient contact without ongoing relationship. Informative. In most instances, preferred is deliberative model based on autonomy, informed consent. Emmanuel E.J., Emmanuel L.L., 1992, JMA. Co-production in health. Involvement of patients/consumers in the development of a service or production in order to ensure quality and enhance value. Approach to decision-making and service design. Health outcomes not simply created by hospitals or care providers, but complex interplay between providers, patients, and healthcare systems. Theoretical framework by Bettelden et al. In the 1960s shows patient and professionals' interaction. Clinicians solicit patients' priorities and values, as well as encourage patients' participation in clinical decisions whenever possible. Watch the video on what is co-production. There is a YouTube link. Responsiveness framework. The most widely used framework for understanding health systems responsiveness was proposed by WHO. It comprises 7 elements against which responsiveness is measured. Dignity, 1. 2. Autonomy, 3. Confidentiality, 4. Prompt attention, 5. Quality of amenities, 6. Access to social support networks, and 7. Choice of service provider. It covers different aspects of individual satisfaction with medical and non-medical aspects of healthcare and focuses on self-assessment within each element. So you have an infographic. You look at it. Health systems, response, expectations, context, historical, political, cultural, social, economic interaction. So you have experiences of dignity, autonomy, confidentiality, attention, access to networks, quality of amenities, choice of provider, trust. On the left, you have policymakers, managers, service providers. On the right, you have individuals, families, and communities. On the left, from inside out, service providers, managers, policymakers. On the right, from inside out, individuals, families, communities. Enhancing responsiveness. Not just measured by how the system responds to health needs, which shows up in health outcomes, how the system performs relative to non-health aspects, how it meets or not meets a population's expectations of how it should be treated by providers of prevention, care, or non-personal services. Dimensions of responsiveness include 1. Elements related to respect for human beings as persons, which are largely subjective and judged primarily by the patient. 2. Elements related to how the system meets certain commonly expressed concerns of patients and their families as clients of health systems. This is more objective, and some of it can be directly observed at health facilities. Subdividing these two categories leads to 7 distinct elements or aspects of responsiveness. Respect for persons, clients' orientation. Respect for persons. 1. Dignity, non-humiliating or demeaning patients. 2. Confidentiality, right to determine who has access to one's personal health information. 3. Autonomy to participate in in choices about one's own health. This includes helping to choose what treatment to receive or not to receive. Client orientation. 1. Prompt attention, immediate attention in emergencies and responsible waiting times for non-emergencies. 2. Access to social support networks, family and friends for people receiving care. 3. Quality of basic amenities such as cleanliness, space, and hospital food. 4. Choice of providers or freedom to select which individual or organization delivers one's care. Responsiveness contributes to health by promoting utilization. Note that autonomy can mean that people do not take up an intervention because they perceive the individual benefit to be small or the risk to be substantial and do not value the collective or population benefits, e.g. in immunization. Individual freedom to choose whether to be immunized conflicts with the public health objective of high coverage to prevent epidemics, e.g. polio vaccination in northern Nigeria. 3. Overall and distribution of responsiveness matters. Some people should not be treated with courtesy while others are humiliated or disdained. A perfectly fair health system will make no such distinctions and will receive the same rating of positive responsiveness on every element for every group in the population. Users' priorities in Nigeria. Category sub-teams. Category 1. Preference for facility neatness, good structure, sustainable temperature inside, ventilation, regular light, attractive environment, adequate waiting area, regular water supply, adequate seats, security, quietness, clean toilets. Preference for staff, courtesy, competence, punctuality, tolerance, honesty, good interpersonal relationship, communicates clearly, receptive, proper dressing, being able to see a doctor. 3. Preference for services, promptness, adequate attention, comprehensive care, health information, reliability, non-discriminatory, privacy, non-extortive. 4. Preference for access, drugs and vaccines, inpatient facility, staff availability, affordable cost, 24-hour service, center close to residence, telephone access, supportive services, lab, emergency, referral. Number 5. Preference for outputs, being happy with care, improved health condition. Challenges to the use of the PHC, Ogaji 2016. Team, sub-team, illustrative quotes, challenges the team. So under sub-team, you have 1. Social exclusion, you have 2. Public stereotype, 3. Emotion, 4. Ignorance, 5. Opportunity cost, 6. Staff attitude, 7. Poor facility. Sub-team 1. Social exclusion. Illustrative quotes. If I come here and see more of pregnant women, I feel kind of shy. I'm not free. If someone is not wise, you will just feel that here is not for you, but for pregnant women, female students. 2. Public stereotype. They would feel a health center is a local place. That is one mentality we do have. So with that mentality of the local place, they would not like to come. Female, 22. 3. Emotion. I too they fear injection. I prefer to take That's native one. Female 32. 4. Ignorance. They local residents don't come to the health center because they don't know the value of the gold that is given to them. Male 47. 5. Opportunity cost. They local residents feel that coming here is a waste of time, as when you come to the clinic you will not be able to get to your farm again. Male 65. 6. Staff attitude. She's a midwife. The woman nurse is very, very harsh, extra harsh. Even the health center, people started running away. Male 47. Number 7. Poor facility. They should have available equipment, AC, combined lister to generate light to them because some of our patients, they are from wealthy homes and they need to see these things. Female 32. PHC advantage. Sub-team. Primary healthcare advantage. Category supporting quotes. 1. Waiting time. Category 1. Waiting time. Supporting quote. The health center attend to us quicker than general hospital, and the population is not that much. Male 27 years. Category 2. Less crowd. Supporting quote. I just wanted to come here because of population here this morning at the general hospital. We have a lot of people, but here not much people. Female 35 years. 3. Courtesy. Most of the nurses hit the general hospital. They are very harsh. They are harsh with the patients. That is why many patients like coming to this place, health center, because they are caring. Female 26 years. 4. Convenience. If I look at the inconvenience that is there in general hospital all the time, I bring my child to a health center. Female 21 years. 5. Cost of care. The place is all that more affordable than general hospital. That though it might be the same thing, but the price there is high. Here is lower. Male 27 years. 6. Travel cost. I don't spend so much as I did. Use 100 naira come here before. I did spend 600 naira to go teaching hospital. Female 64 years. PHC disadvantage. Ogaji 2017. Primary healthcare. The sub-teams. Primary healthcare disadvantage. Category 1. Doctor. Illustrative quote. The health center is the best except they don't have doctor. Then we go to general hospital. Female 32 years. Category 2. Investigation. I said if I come for test, they refer us to general. Other small things they do here, and then we go home. Female 32. 3. Dirty. I didn't see anybody that is standing and cleaning like in general hospital. Anytime I go to general hospital, I see people standing and cleaning. They clean everywhere. Female 21 years. 4. Out of hour service. See, general hospital all the time you come in, you see doctor if you are pregnant all the time, like 5 o'clock midnight, 12 o'clock midnight. If you come this place, health center, now so everywhere go they locked for this place. Female 21 years. So coded team concepts, categories. Coded team, you have needs center, clean toilets, good structure, suitable temperature inside, adequate ventilation, lawn care, regular lights, attractive environment, adequate waiting area, entertainment, regular water supply, adequate seating provision, secured facility, quietness, courtesy. Think all this go to structure / amenities, concept. Then categories. Also, so categories. So for the one of staff, you have courtesy, competence, punctuality, tolerance, interpersonal relationship, clear communication, receptive, proper appearance, promptness, adequate attention, comprehensive care. Okay, so for services rather, you have promptness, adequate attention, comprehensive care, reliable service schedule, non-discriminatory privacy, safety of care, orderliness, access, drugs and vaccines, inpatient services, staff availability, access to doctor, affordable cost, convenient operating times, center close to residents, telephone access, laboratory services, emergency services, referral services, health information, benefits, happy with encounter, improvements in health. Then this one leads to structure, process, outcome. Then patient expectation from primary health care in Nigeria. Client participation in healthcare. Improving patient participation in the delivery of healthcare is one of the 8 strategic goals for health system development in Nigeria. This goal is congruent with global reforms in service delivery, which is aimed at reorganizing health services, especially at the primary level, in line with people's expectations. intended to make services more socially relevant and responsive to the current and changing needs of the population. Requires periodic surveys of clients' views on healthcare, under that I have preferences, expectations or idea about what should occur. 2. Evaluations, judgments or perceptions of healthcare. And 3. Reports, more objective observations on the organization or process of care. Participation of clients depicts 1. The health system's commitment to patient sovereignty. 2. Autonomy. 3. Demonstrates a level of democratic accountability in healthcare. 4. Mirrors political developments. 5. Correlates with the level of modernization of the society. 6. Predicts their future behaviors with respect to health service utilization, compliance with treatment, continuity, and overall effectiveness of care. Health system goal 3. Fairness in financial contribution. Fair financing in health systems means that the risks each household faces due to the cost of the health system are distributed according to ability to pay rather than to risk of illness. A fairly financed system ensures financial protection for everyone. A fairly financed system ensures financial protection for everyone. Okay. Individuals or households are sometimes forced into poverty through their purchase of needed care, or forced to do without it because of the cost, if unfair. Financing is perfectly fair if the ratio of total health contribution to total non-food spending is identical for all households independently of their income, their health status, or their use of the health system. Financing healthcare can be progressive or regressive. Progressive forms of health financing. 1. Progressive income tax. 2. Tax waivers of low-income groups. 3. Property tax. 4. Voluntary private insurance. 5. Travel reimbursement. Regressive forms of financing. 1. Proportional tax, e.g. municipal tax in many countries. 2. Consumption tax, most value-added taxes, VAT. 3. Out-of-pocket payments. 4. Capping of social insurance payments. 5. Tax exemption policies of private insurance. Tax-based systems, closest to neutrality. Mandatory social insurance, somewhat regressive. Private insurance, clearly regressive. Fair financing. Out-of-pocket payments are generally regressive, but can, in principle, be neutral or progressive. When this happens and out-of-pocket expenses are not too large, they need not impoverish anyone or deter the poor from obtaining care. Families that spend 40% or more of their non-food expenditure on health are likely to be impoverished as a result. Financial catastrophe. Catastrophic health expenditure (CHE) can be defined in relation to a healthcare budget share that exceeds a predefined threshold, usually 10% of household income or 40% of household non-food expenditure. CHE, catastrophic health expenditure, is an important index for assessing the fairness in financial contribution to healthcare. Construction of fairness of financial contribution, FFC. HFC is equal to HEI. HFCI is equal to HEI over ENSYI, where ENSY is equal to effective income minus subsistence expenditure. HE is all financial contributions, including tax, insurance, out-of-pocket. FFC, perfectly fair if all households pay the same proportion of their non-subsistence income on health. Considerations in calculating FFC. Household income as all earnings, welfare package, or financial benefit accruing to the household from all members of the household, not just the income of household head. 2. Household total consumption and expenditure, monetary and in-kind amounts spent on health, food, rents, transportation, school fees, cable television and mobile phone subscription bills, fuel for generator, clothing, religious contributions, and expenses at social events. 3. Healthcare expenditure, expenditures on health, on insurance premium, drugs, consultation fees, hospital bed charges, cost of self-medication or services sought from alternative/traditional medical practitioners, e.g. TBS, TBSS, and spiritual healing homes, transport charges to the treatment facilities, and daily living costs, including food and lodging for the purpose of caring for the ailing household member. The non-food expenditure, the discretionary consumption obtained after deduction of an actual or estimated food share, excluding alcohol and tobacco, from the monthly HH income. All data on income and expenditure are converted to monthly figures. Considerations calculating FFC. Out-of-pocket health payments refer to the payments made by households at the point they receive health services. OOP payments include doctors' consultation fees, purchases of medications, and hospital bills. Spending on alternative and or traditional medicine is included in out-of-pocket payments. Expenditure on health-related transportation and special nutrition are excluded. It is also important to note that OOP payments are net of any insurance reimbursement. Household food expenditure is the amount spent on all foodstuffs by the household plus the value of the family's own food production consumed within the household. It includes expenditure on alcoholic beverages, tobacco, and food consumption outside the home, e.g. hotel and restaurants. The household subsistence spending is the minimum requirement to maintain basic life in a society. Calculating subsistence spending. 1. Generate the food expenditure share (food AXPH) for each household by dividing the household food expenditure by its total expenditure. 2. Generate the equivalent household size for each household. 3. Divide each household food expenditure by the equivalent household size to get equivalized food expenditure. 4. Identify the food expenditure shares of total household expenditure that are the 45th and 55th percentile across the whole sample. Name these two variables as food 45 and food 55. 1. If the survey includes a household weighting variable, the percentile calculation should consider the weight. Calculating subsistence spending. 5. Calculate the weighted average of food expenditure in the 45th to 55th percentile range. This gives the subsistence equivalent expenditure per equivalent capita, which is also the poverty line, PL. Lastly, calculate the subsistence expenditure for each household. A household is regarded as poor when its total household expenditure is smaller than its subsistence spending. 2. The household's capacity to pay is defined by the non-subsistence effective income of the household. Indicators of CHE. A catastrophic head count refers to the incidence of CHE in a population. It represents the percentage of households that made healthcare expenditure during a specific period above the 10% of income and 40% of non-food thresholds in the population. The catastrophic overshoot O shows the severity of the catastrophe and refers to the average degree by which health payments as a proportion of total expenditure exceeds the catastrophic payment thresholds within the period. The MPO represents the intensity of CHE and is calculated by averaging the catastrophic overshoot of all households that exceed the catastrophic threshold within this period. The MPO measures the extent to which households with catastrophic expenditure exceeded the catastrophic thresholds. Estimating catastrophic health expenditure. Catastrophic if its fraction of total expenditure exceeds a pre-specified level, usually 10% of total expenditure income. Van der Sle et al. 2007. Catastrophic health expenditure (CHE) occurs when household health spending is greater than 40% of non-food expenditure. Zhu et al. 2003, Murray et al. 2003, O'Donnell et al. 2008. CHE is equal to HE over income greater than 2.5 to 15%, greater than 2.5% to 15% relation to income. Y is equal to X minus X SEXP, SEXP, relation to non-food. SEXP, SEXP is subsistence deductions, while X is income, or total consumption expenditure, as indicated in the first method above. CHE is equal to OOP over Y, greater than 20 to 40% by capacity to pay. Catastrophic head count HC depicts the prevalence of catastrophic health expenditure in a population. HC is equal to 1 over N, sigma I N is equal to 1 EI. Catastrophic overshoot O shows the severity of the catastrophe. O is equal to 1 over N, sigma NI is equal to 1 OI. CHE in Yonagoa, Ogaji and Adesina 2019. CHE defined by threshold of 10% income, 40% non-food expenditure. So you have catastrophic payments measure. Catastrophic head count number 1, H. Number 2, catastrophic overshoot. Number 3, mean positive overshoot. Okay, so the different values are there. Association between occurrence of CHE in HHS and the main payment model. So you have variable, you have total N is equal to 525, OOP payments, HHS N is equal to 477, insured HHS N is equal to 48, Fisher's exact test of significance, p-value. Effects of health expenditure on HHS: 10% income threshold, income CHE threshold, 1. CHE household, non-CHE household, 40% non-food expenditure CHE, CHE household, non-CHE households. Predictors of CHE, Ogaji and Adeshina, 2018. Independent variable reference group. Presence of under 5 children in HH, yes, no. Presence of above 65 years old in HH. HH members still long-term with HH members with long-term condition. HH members with recent minor illnesses. HH members hospitalized in last 1 year. HH with childbirth in last 1 year. Mode of payment, prepayment, out of pocket. Predictor of CHE, Ogaji and Adeshina, 2018. HH socioeconomic status: most rich, most poor, poor, moderately rich, very rich. Number of income earners in HH, number of dependents in HH, number of HH members with chronic condition, number of HH members hospitalized in last 1 year, duration of hospitalization, number of childbirths of HH in the last 1 year. Predictors of CHE, Ogaji and Adeshina, 2018. Okay. Duration of hospitalization. Considerations in the calculation of impoverishment. The poverty headcount represents the percentage of households living below the defined poverty lines. The poverty gap represents the mean deficit from the poverty line among the study population. It is the average amount by which resources fall short of the defined poverty line. The normalized poverty gap is computed by dividing the estimated poverty gap by the defined poverty line. This is useful for international comparisons. The difference between poverty estimates before and after healthcare expenditure represents the impoverishing effect of health payments. The difference in poverty headcounts, poverty gaps, and normalized poverty gaps before and after health payments represent impoverishment attributable to health spending. Impoverishment of HE. When household poverty results from healthcare expenditure measured by the poverty line, poverty headcount represents the percentage of households living below the defined poverty line. P gross is equal to sigma IN is equal to 1 SI PI gross over EN Y I is equal to 1 SI. Above equation represents the poverty headcount P gross, in which SI is the household size and N is the number of households in the sample. PI gross equals 1 is if XI less than PL and equals 0 when otherwise, where XI is the per capita spending by households I and PL is the poverty line. The poverty gap represents the aggregate deficit from the poverty line. G gross is equal to sigma IN equal to ISIGI gross over sigma IN is equal to ISI SI, where GI gross is equal to PI gross my P bracket PL minus XI. The effect of health systems on poverty. The effect of health payments on poverty, headcount, and poverty gap is captured by replacing PI gross with PI net, where PI net is equal to 1 if XI minus TI less than PL and equals 0 otherwise, by replacing with GI gross with GI net equal to PI net bracket PL minus XI minus TI bracket close, where T is the per capita health spending by household. Then the difference between P gross and P net and G gross and G net demonstrate the impoverishment effect of health payments on household. Impoverishment estimates before and after health expenditure in Yenagua, before discontinuing health payment, after discontinuing health payment, are absolute difference relative. Assessment using $3 1,095 naira capital day poverty line. Poverty health headcount percent, poverty gap, normalized poverty gap percent. Assessment using $2 730 naira capital day extreme poverty line, poverty headcount percent, poverty gap, and normalized poverty gap percent. Okay, so this is where this topic ends, and the next topic will be health system function, stewardship, and governance. So For now, we're going to stop at page 171. That's slide number 171.